Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, the Lover, also known as the Power to Do this, back for you with another video. Stopping my Dune Imperium addiction for a quick moment to actually work on the YouTube channel. As kind of teased, I do want to like take more time and do actual videos when like cards get revealed that I think are very interesting, and kind of talk about them for a bit. That being the case, as you see a White Organization article in front of you. Primordial is a theme that we just got revealed in the V-Jump magazine for the OCG, which we are going to get in the next main set after Infinite Forbidden, which is going to be Rage the Abyss, briefly shortened to Reinforcements of the Army. So yeah, let's just get into these cards and talk about them a bit, because these are pretty cool. It's like a normal monster-focused archetype, which is kind of cool. We have here at the top, we have Imperial Dragon, the Primordial Dragon. This is a level 6 dragon effect monster with 2600 attack and 0 defense. Pretty chunky stat line for a 6, not gonna lie. Requires a normal monster as a tribute to normal summon, and you can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect reveal this guy in your hand, and then immediately after that effect resolves, normal summon one primordial monster. This not only sets up this nicely for like, future support, because this is theoretically just an Ether, Ether the Heavenly Monarch, boomer reference by now, I think. But yeah, during the opponent's main phase, just like reveal it, tribute summon. Doesn't even need to banish a Monarch spell trap from the graveyard, which is kind of nice. And if this guy is tribute summoned, you can apply these effects in sequence. You negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, and you banish all monsters your opponent controls with the same type and or attribute as any of the normal monsters in your graveyard, which is kind of the gimmick of this, There's a lot of cards in this that focus on vanillas, either bringing out vanillas as, tribute material, or, just having vanillas of different types and attributes, or with different characteristics, to control the board state, which is very interesting. Could be something to maybe look at in combination with Magikey. That's like a fairly recent ritual archetype. Had also like a similar focus on differently attributed typed normal monsters to get, more value out of their effects. So maybe this is, a combination to look into. But I'd probably look at a pure version first, even if that at the moment probably looks more like Staples deck, if anything. Then we have a Primordial Imperial Ode, which is a continuous spell. Only use the first and third effects of this card's name once per turn. When this resolves, you add a Primordial card from your deck to hand, except a Primordial Imperial Node. Rhoda is never wrong, appreciate the extra consistency, especially with, only one main deck monster at the moment. You're really gonna want this. Normal monsters and primordial monsters you control gain 300 attack for each normal monster in your graveyard with different names. This deck probably, as I think you can already tell, probably has a lot of synergy with, a lot of the generic floodgates. Just not great. But yeah, this kind of nails that point home, because in a simplified game state where you're, under like some form of like peekaboo nonsense, having those extra attack points will definitely come in clutch. But otherwise, this I think is just like a neat bonus, I'd say. Though granted, this does push Imperial Dragon, the Primordial Dragon, onto like a very easy 2900 and maybe 3000, which pretty respectable. You can declare a normal monster's name, special a normal monster with that name from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Also, you cannot activate special summon monsters effects for the rest of this turn. Not only a very interesting effect in general, because there's another card in this deck that does that. You declare a specific vanilla's name, and then you can special summon a vanilla with that name, which I think is the next card. Yeah, that's the next card. But yeah, nice recycling for, those vanillas that you're running for this deck. Possibly also, of course, something that in a simplified game set can come in clutch if you need to, slam down another Primordial Dragon. And because this, continuously gives you the attribute fodder to get that guy on the board, which is kind of nice. Then we have Primordial Tremors here. This is a quick play spell. The archetype has 2 of those, if I've seen that correctly. You pay 2,000, declare a normal monster's name, and then apply this effect Then if you control no monsters, you special summon a normal monster with a declared name from your deck in defense, and once applied, your primordial monsters and normal monsters with a declared name cannot be destroyed by battle until the end of your opponent's turn. Kind of cute. I feel like also has like some applications in other decks. I think, you know, decks like Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, that are centered around, you know, a specifically named normal monster that you need for a lot of your cards. Could definitely make great use of this just as like an unexpected die. But I don't play those decks outside of Red Eyes. Red Eyes is like my personal nostalgia cope, but you know, sip of coffee. Queen. And if your opponent normally summons a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target a non-monster you control in your graveyard and banish a monster on the field with lower attack. This is the other portion. That you kind of have, you know, the other characteristics of your vanillas are also important. They get even more important with the trap later on. This is just, you know, interaction, which is, you know, kind of cool. Gives you just an additional layer of disruption on top of your board. Currently, we're speaking about, you know, I guess a quick effect Dark Ruler, essentially, with like a potential banish. But this is a lot more applicable, aside from, you know, what vanilla lineup you run, depending on the format. And also, you know, makes it so that there is, you know, a bit of nuance that goes into your vanilla lineup, which is kind of cool. So yeah. Could be pretty nice. Then we have Primordial Schiller next, which is also a quick play spell. You reveal a normal monster or primordial card in your hand except Primordial Schiller, then target a face-up card on the field. And if you control a normal monster or a level 5 or higher primordial monster, except a token, you do not have to reveal a card. You negate its effects, and if you do, banish it. Very strong, just like card overall. This is a quick play spell, so it has applications going second. This can trade for an end board piece. You can set it turn 1, of course, and use it as a disruption, and then it's just, you know, a casual Omni Negate, which is kinda crazy, to be completely honest. And during your main phase, if you control a primordial monster, you can set this card from your graveyard, so it even comes back every single turn, as long as you, of course, have access to a primordial monster. Which is going to be interesting to see, because once we get like more primordial monsters, the ceiling on this card definitely goes a lot more up a lot, because you of course have more primordial monsters, so it's very much easier to, you know, keep this card in rotation and continuously get that disruptive effect of. It's kind of strong. And last but not least, you know, a normal trap. We gotta have those. A primordial opener, closing with an opener. Thanks, Konami. You declare a normal monster's name and you apply this effect. Then, if you control no monsters, this card deck feels like a Dark World moment. Anyone feel me on that one? You can special summon a normal monster with the declared name from your deck or graveyard, and once applied, you take no battle damage from battles involving your normal monsters with the declared name and primordial monsters this turn. Tenpai Who? Tenpai Who Mega Lul? But yeah. My hatred for that Fire Dragon Battle Phase deck aside, this is fine. The second effect is the important part of this card, because during your opponent's turn, you can banish this from your graveyard and target a normal monster you control in your grave, and you take control of a monster your opponent controls with higher attack until the end phase. Giving you, you know, another layer of disruption, makes this card also like terrible to draw, because if you can pitch it in a way, it is still an additional layer of disruption, which is kind of nice. These also don't seem to be exclusive, right? Yeah, these are this is exclusive. This isn't. So like, opening this isn't terrible. You slap down, you know, a massive vanilla or like a small vanilla. Could funnily enough run something stupid like Labyrinth Wall for this. Your opponent has to contest with a 3k wall, even if it's just a vanilla. But you basically have a Snatch Steal for like anything, or like a Brain Corn rather. Which is kind of cool. I do think there's like a decent bit of potential in this archetype, especially with future support. Hopefully this doesn't get turned into stun deck number 285. That would really suck. But I'm definitely gonna experiment with this once we get these cards in like a simulator. Because I think there's a lot there, and also just, you know, getting to run like a lineup of, you know, of like silly vanillas. Maybe I could see myself running like a launcher spider in this, because it's a fire. It's also like decently sized, so like, you know, maybe that comes up. But there's a lot of silly stuff you can do with this, and it has a very interesting gimmick. Probably nothing that'll be too competitive, but it doesn't have to. But with that out of the way, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Which I guess is like the main point of this. I talk about cards that I think are cool, and you tell me if you also think these are cool. Which let's just talk about cool cardboard for a moment. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd be absolutely happy to hear those. And with all that out of the way, I'll be seeing you guys again. I'll be thanking you guys very much for watching. I'll be seeing you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.